What's going on, YouTube? Coming at you from dark, cloudy, rainy Ohio. It's been a long, long day, and I'm glad it's over. For my last video, I was waiting on TA to call me about the light on my license plate on the trailer. And I said, if you remember, I said I'm probably, my next load, I'm going to drop it and hook to another crappy trailer. I was right. Before I get to that, the TA never called me. I went and laid down, hoping to get an hour or two of sleep before they called, just so I'd have some kind of sleep depending on how long it took. And I woke up the next morning. They never called. I don't know if, I don't know. But my load was late enough. The sun was up, kind of, so I risked, can't talk. I went ahead and drove, and, nothing happened. I was only a half hour, maybe, not even that, from that delivery. And the closest truck stop to my next stop, which was Connecticut, was a TA as well. So I just went there, and they fixed it in like 20 minutes. So I got that fixed, got a good night of sleep, dropped off the following morning, ended the load, got another load out of Connecticut to Ohio. 3 stops, 1 just south of Pittsburgh and 2 around Cleveland. I did the 2 Cleveland drops this morning. Last night, I did the first drop at like 11. I had gotten there early in the day, so I had enough time to restart my clock, but I only got like 3 hours of sleep. But the trailer, pick up the trailer, get routed due to the route I chose to take. I sent in the fuel macro, and they sent me to the Pittston terminal, which I wasn't really hoping to go to or anything, but, it is what it is. When you go into the terminals, they do an inspection on your truck and trailer. Turns out it was time for some maintenance to be done on the trailer. New battery and this and that. So I ended up having to leave the trailer in the shop overnight. It turned out it wasn't that big of a deal, that bad of a thing. I was hoping to drive all the way through the night, finish up my clock, and get to the drop pretty much a day early. But that would have sucked because no bathroom, no food, all that stuff would have been pretty much out the door. Unless I walked or called a taxi or, whatever. But there wasn't anything close. And with my hours, I still had time to get to my drop, even though I stayed the night. And I was able to sleep in and get a meal in Pittston before I took off. So it wasn't too bad, but yes, that trailer had its own issues. And then what I didn't hear, because I was driving the whole time I had it, or when I picked it up it was already running, the Reefer. Whenever the Reefer started, it squealed, bad belt or something. I didn't find that out until I got to my first stop. And I stopped and I decided to relax a little bit, and then the Reefer kicked on and was just squealing, and it did that for a couple minutes. So this morning I sent in a message because it woke me up every time last night, and probably woke up the people around me. And, I'm not trying to get stabbed by some crazy trucker because he got woken up by my loud Reefer that I didn't really have any control over. So I sent a message in, and after my 2 drop-offs today, I took it to a Reefer place and got that fixed. So another crap-tastic trailer. But, you know, that's the brakes. My last stop today was freaking crazy. Tight, narrow street with a building and a little parking lot on this side of the street, and the building's over here. And I had no idea where to go because there's no really real direction or anything, and there were company trucks. This was like a place that goes where big companies like us take the products to them, and then they distribute it to the stores. So it was one of those kind of places. So all the company trucks were parked over here, and I didn't know you could park there. And I saw what looked like, you know, like a bridge or something to go under, you know, part of the building. So I kind of pull into that driveway, and that is the docks inside the building. Luckily there was a driver coming out, and I talked to him for a minute about what was going on, and ended up backing haggard across the street enough to get out of the dockway and out of the street. Go give them my paperwork, my number, so they can call me, and they called me 2 hours later. But I ended up, from where I was, I turned around and nosed into that parking lot, and then when they called me in, I had to back out and over and then into the building. Oh, it's crazy. And going from light to dark is just tough. I remember watching videos on that before I started, and like, they should have that stuff lit up crazy like, but they didn't. It was dark as crap in there. And so it took me longer to actually get straight with the door because there were no lines on the ground and it was dark. It took me longer to get straight with the door than it did for me to back out and angle and around into the building. So, I mean, it was crazy. But, you know, I did it. Just chalk another experience up. And then, yeah, then after that, I went and got the reefer fixed. Just took a couple hours, and now I'm back at a TA to do my break and finally get some sleep. And then my next load I pick up in Michigan and take to Tennessee. Same load I've picked up before, so I'm familiar with where I'm going and all that. So I'll go pick it up tomorrow and try to get a good distance of the way back south before my clock ends, and then finish it out the next day. So that's that. But yeah, I can't believe TA never called me. If I knew they weren't going to call me, I would have taken a shower. I would have changed into shorts, something comfortable to sleep in. Whatever. Is what it is. Just charge that to everybody else, and the lack of respect that drivers and people in general get out here. But, I survived. So, nothing much to worry about. And I just ate, so I'm about to close this other curtain and get to sleeping. I'll probably mess around on my phone for a little bit. But, yeah. So, that is what I got for you. Funny thing, I was driving out of the Cleveland area, and I was bored with the radio, so I clicked it over to the 90s channel, and it was Bone Thugs, The Crossroads. And they're from Cleveland, so I thought that was awesome. And, The Crossroads, classic. For all you 90s kids out there like myself. So, that's that. I'll cut it off. Y'all be safe, be blessed, and I will see you sometime.